So my name is Rich Beausoleil. I am the statewide bear and cougar specialist for the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife. It's a statewide position. I'm based out of Wenatchee, north, south, east, west, right in the center of the state. And yeah, pretty much go everywhere.
Do you have a sense for the frequency of bear conflict calls that you get, if it's gone up or changed in the years you've been doing this?
You know, I've been doing this for 22 years. It's definitely cyclic, you know, in response to food supply, natural food supply, weather conditions, that kind of stuff. But also highly dependent on attractants, which bring bears close to people. We're always going to have bears around these parts, and that's okay. What we want them to do is move through and not stay. We did a 10-year study in the North Cascades. We had a West Slope study area and an East Slope study area, and it just so happens it was right around here in Leavenworth. So we collared a couple hundred bears over 10 years just on this side of the mountains. And what we found is bears were traveling 30, 40 straight line distance miles to come from their home range to take advantage of these food resources, sometimes turning around and never coming back, other times choosing to settle here. And if it's a mom with cubs who's doing that, those cubs start to learn when it starts getting cool or it starts getting warm, whatever the phase is, that's where I can go get a known meal. A bear's entire life is based on food. You or I know if we miss breakfast and lunch, we're going to have dinner. They don't know that. They live day to day, and so they need about 3,000 calories a day just to sustain themselves, preferably 5,000 calories a day to actually put on some mass. And a pound of blueberries or huckleberries is roughly about, 250 calories. One pound bird feeder is 1,700 calories. So you hit a neighborhood street with 3 or 4 bear feeders, you just lived an entire day. So by the bears' standards, that's time management. That's no different than you or I hitting the drive-thru on a busy day. And if we catch them early enough in this behavior and we intervene, we can stop it. And that's the key. We need that engagement from people to understand that if you want to see a bear for a minute and that's fine, scare it off if it's in your yard around Leavenworth. But then report it, let us know, so we can keep track of those sightings and then say, hey, we've got 3 or 4 going here. We might want to jump over there, see if there's any things we need to remove. And then also, maybe we can push that bear back up into the woods where it belongs. It's kind of disappointing over time because you see this cycle and it just repeats itself, and we remove these bears and we do press on it. We don't hide what we're doing. Sometimes we're forced to make these calls, and that's not why we got into the business, and then the locals get upset with us. And I like that. That means they love wildlife. But you need to take those preventative steps to avoid a bear becoming habituated or food conditioned, because that can lead to problems that none of us want. In the last couple of years, things have greatly improved. We've got a good working relationship, and we always have, with Public Works. They service all of the restaurants, all of the businesses and parks like we're in right now, and they have their own garbage removal system. And so they upped removal of those cans from once a day to twice a day. That's a great move. But now we've got 3,000 residents that we need to engage with. They all have individual contracts with their garbage collection service. And so that's a heavier lift. We need some help from City Council, maybe to pass some ordinances, take down your bird feeders, from April through November. If you're gonna raise chickens and goats and sheep and that kind of stuff, there's some basic standards you need to have. That would be outstanding. And then when you see signs like this and you're in bear country, heed those warnings, pay attention. If you live close by and you came down to the park for a walk, well, that's only a hop, skip, and a jump for a bear to be in your backyard. So look around, police each other, help us, help you, and then by doing so, we're gonna help the bears.